Good morning, YouTube. I'm going to recap Empire Season 3, Episode 2. Okay, so let's start right off. Okay, the scene opens, first scene opens with Cookie in bed. There's a ring at the doorbell, and someone is delivering gifts. Not a gift. Well, I guess initially it was one gift, but then they just keep coming. So Lucious is trying to romance Cookie. This season seems to be about these two in this romance of theirs. So anyway, he's sending her all kinds of gifts. He sends her a gold gun. I guess that's a nice gift. He sends her. I don't remember what the initial one was. Oh, pictures or something like that. Things for the house, and this huge, hideous lion, which is really should be in front of a library, but they have it marbleized to look like. I just kind of like art, so it's just plaster, but it's painted to look like a marble lion, but the kind you would see outside of a library with these big, I don't know, bejeweled eyes. Anyway, and so she sends all these gifts back. The assistant Portia comes to our house and discovers all this stuff in the lobby. She's been getting a delivery after delivery. She says send it all back. Okay, then the next scene is this won't be scene by scene. It'll primarily be uh, character by character, but okay, the next scene is Anika. Okay, Lucius comes home. He sees these women in his house. I think there are five women. One in with Anika interviewing for this job as a nanny. She's interviewing her. And there are four other girls waiting in the dining room. So he comes in and goes off. He immediately throws everybody out. Yeah, and he tells Anika, how dare you bring these people into my house? So Nika says she needs help with the kids. It's too much. Help with the kid, the daughter. It's too much. And the crazy mother is there, and she's saying that I raised Dwight all by myself. I didn't have any. Well, you're poor as hell. It wasn't an option for you. Anyway, he tells her, no, all you're only here for this court case to beat this, so that you can testify and to raise this baby. So you ain't got nothing else to do. You can raise this child by yourself. It makes some sense that he wouldn't want a lot of strangers in the house at this particular time. I mean, they would be trying to infiltrate if they're investigating him. The FBI would. So to bring in a lot of strangers in the house at this particular time would not be a good idea. So anyway, he throws everybody out. Enter Councilman Angelo Dubois. Okay, Angelo Dubois is a congressman, and he's also working with a youth program called Woke. So these inner city kids, and some kind of anti-violence type program. He's working with them with a youth program, and so we're introduced to this new character, this congressman, good-looking guy. I forget the actor's name, but he's let's see. Okay, he works with these kids. He's holding an anti-violence summit at some point in this episode, where he's asked uh, Jamal to perform at this summit for these kids because Jamal has just survived uh, violence with his by being shot. You know, Jamal's having all kind of problems behind this thing that happened to him, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so he's working with his kids. That's how he meets Jamal. I forget where they're at when he meets them, but he invited Jamal to participate in uh, in this program, and Jamal seems pretty enthusiastic about helping out. All right, so that's for the opening scene. Okay. Okay, so Lucius is very impressed with this girl, Nessa. Nessa, initially, if I remember correctly, initially he said he had nephew that he wanted Lucious to work with. That was the deal when he showed up last week. But then when the girl showed up, I think he identified her as being his niece. So it went from nephew to niece, and now in this episode, he's identifying her as his sister. The way he talked to her, I thought he was one of his hoes, but he just a rough kind of guy. This guy Shine, so he said, "Sound, Nessa." So I thought it was just some girl, but apparently that's his sister. And Lucius is very impressed with her as a performer. So he calls them both in the office. She's going to be with Empire, so I mean, he offers her a contract. Her and Mr. Shine. As I said last week, I'm just absolutely certain that Shine is going to end up killed because he is the type of personality that he's a lot further than anger management, having anger management issues. Let's put it like that. He's the type of person you have to kill. So I'm surprised they didn't kill him right away because they tend to move their storylines around very quickly. But for the moment, he's still in the show. Lucious is very taken by the girl. Let me see. So Jamal, Hakeem, the Shine wants the girl to work with Hakeem. He respects him as an artist, and he wants her to work with him. And Hakeem likes this girl, but he is soon to discover that liking this girl is not the safest thing to do, because there's a scene where she is in the studio with Hakeem and Shine, her brother. They're going over some music, and one of the guys there, one of his boys, looks at her tail. She's bending over to do something, and he looks at her booty, and so he asks him to step over here, please, and knocks him out. I mean, smooth out for just looking at his sister or niece. Well, this time they're saying his sister. I assume they'll stick with sister. And Akeem's been flirting with this girl, and the girl's been flirting with him. So he's getting an early message that this is a dangerous proposition, having an interest in this girl. But they're doing a record together. He's doing a rap, she's singing. She does kind of a little rap thing too. All right, so I was talking about Lucious. Okay. Okay, so Lucious seems to think that Jamal has lost his voice. He's not able to sing anymore. This is what he says. Uh, Permanent. I mean, he doesn't have a voice anymore. But it's actually Hakeem is having some PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from being shot. Because when he tries to perform, he gets flashbacks of when this girl shot him, which is another reason why he's involved with this youth program against violence. All right, so that'll come back up again. Okay, Steph Crabman. Okay, so Jamal introduces Lucious. Jamal's with the kids in the lobby of Empire. He's showing the kids around, showing them the music industry, things like that. One of the guys is very interested in performing, in being a rapper. And so Lucious comes through the lobby at the same time that they're in the lobby looking at the building. And Jamal introduces Lucious to the kids and to this congressman who's working with them. Okay, so they tell them what big fans they are, and the kid who wants to be a rapper asks him, can he perform something right then? So he does a little rap, and then a little rap, but wasn't that good. But later on, he shows that he really is a talented kid. Okay, so Lucius takes an interest in these guys, and he invites them to do their summit there at Empire, which actually he means. I mean, when they show the event, it's actually at Leviticus, which is a subsidiary of Empire. They own it. So anyway, so he takes an interest. He invites them to perform there, and when they have the summit, he kind of springs this request that Jamal join him on stage, because Jamal has been on stage now since this incident. He was scheduled to perform at the wedding, which I don't know if that went down or not. The wedding obviously got crashed. But now when he gets in front of an audience, he has these panic attacks. He had one last week and he had it again this week. But so Lucious brings it on him. So okay, so they're at Leviticus. They're having this summit, and he calls him up to sing. When Jamal gets to the stage, he has a panic attack, starts breathing hard, runs from the stage, and they catch him in that tunnel, that red tunnel that in Leviticus. He's falling on the ground, collapsed. Lucious is not interested in his collapse or his breakdown. I mean, I guess he's from a lifestyle where people get shot all the time. Is that what's the big deal? Why are you tripping? Anyway, so he doesn't understand the what he's going through. Fortunately, Cookie is there. She's there to encourage his son. But he says, I can't sing, I can't perform anymore. So, I mean, obviously, that's going to change. I don't know why people, seems like reviewers and people are so hard on Jamal. And I don't know if we just can't get behind each other or gay people can't get behind each other. But I think he's an extremely talented performer, actor. His voice is beautiful. But I always see that people like, oh, you shouldn't sing anymore. Why not? I mean, anyway, so I guess it's a matter of taste. So the boy, he had another panic attack. Let me say something about, let me see, that's Lucious. Miss Becky, finally they got Miss Becky a better wig. She had that blonde stuff at the end, kind of it wasn't very flattering. But she looks kind of nice in her wig. I don't know if she lost a little weight or whatever. She looked much better in this long flowing hair. You girls are so fortunate because you can change your hair with the snap of a hand. Snap of a finger, you can change your whole look. They got Becky in a better wig. Okay, so and remember she had the affair with Big Papa, was her boyfriend, and he's also an Empire artist. Well, he comes and he announces to Becky that he is leaving Empire and going. He's been signed with another label or being signed with another label. He's got an offer, and he's also got. He said he negotiated where she could come with him because Becky wants a job as head of A&R. That's the job Cookie wanted when she first came. I guess Cookie is a CEO now, so she's applying for that job. Anika's out of the picture, so she's applying for that. She wants that job, and they haven't offered it to her as of yet. So he tells her, "Have they offered you the job yet?" I mean, he obviously knows that she wants that job. She's up for it, and he says that he's negotiated a deal where she can just come with him and work at A&R for this other record company. She says, "Absolutely not." You know, Lucious gave her her break. She's loyal to Empire. Okay. So they have a little bit of a tiff, a little argument, disagreement there. All right, let's get on what's going on with Cookie. Okay, flashback. This episode has several flashbacks of her. Like I said, Lucious is sending her all these gifts now. She's resistant. She's still pissed off because he went and married a girl, Anika, which is pretty reasonable to be angry about that because there was never even a discussion about it. He made this decision on the spot. Next thing you know, the Andre was already there, ordained, and he just married them right then. So she has an attitude about that. But she's starting to flashback on when they got together. Apparently, she was in some kind of a private school where they wear uniforms. We see her in a uniform with her sisters, and he is a street hoodlum or someone that is doing rapping on the street with his boys. He doesn't have a uniform on, so apparently he's not in the school. She's in some kind of girls' school, probably. Anyway, so they keep flashing back. I think we got 3 flashbacks during this episode of when they first met each other. Okay, and okay, up to Miss Cookie. Now, while Lucious is wooing Cookie, his ex-wife, this congressman is now in the picture. Now, at first, Cookie hates the man. She thinks he's, bougie or bourgeois man who doesn't know anything about the streets and all that. And why is he working with these underprivileged kids because he was never underprivileged. His parents were together 50 years and things like that. So she is kind of doesn't like him initially, which is kind of the way television does it. The all person always hate the person first, and then they love them later on. So there's energy between Cookie and this new guy, the Congressman, what's his name? Com, uh, Congress Dubry, Dubry. Okay, so he's got some kind of French name. Okay, so initially she hates him. He reminds her of when they do the flashbacks. When they do the flashbacks, there was another guy she was seeing when she met Lucious. A preppy happy guy wanted to be a doctor, wanted her to go to school to be some other catch wanted to go to some exclusive school. She wasn't interested. She was more interested in bad boy type guys. Well, this congressman seems like the grown up version of that kid, who I guess went on to be a doctor or whatever. All right, so where does she encounter them at? It'll come to me. All right, so she's one of Lucia's other wooing tactics is he has this rapper, this guy Bis Markie, show up in her house. I guess she's in her bedroom again. She hears this singing, this rap music in her house. She thinks somebody left the radio on, and what it is, this is a live performer by this guy Biz Markie, who sings the song You got what I need, and you say he's just a friend. Him. He's done a live performance there. And she loves that. She actually loves that. She's a music person. Big old guy. And but this is another tactic of Lucius to get her back. Okay, so Bismarcky shows up. She has to encourage Andre, who's having a very, very hard time. His wife, obviously has been killed. He is having a hard time. He can't get these medications together, so he's breaking down. He's crying. As he's breaking down, he's staying with Jamal temporarily. And Jamal sees him out in the living room talking to his dead wife. And first, Cookie encourages him, but first Jamal encourages him that he'll help him with his medication, and that in fact he was kind of struggling with this new pain medication they got him on. It looks like Jamal's going to have a problem with this pain medication. Thing that happens, you get on pain pills, you can get hooked on pain pills. So they keep bringing these pills up or showing him taking these pills. So it looks pretty obvious that he's going to develop some kind of addiction. Okay, so Andre is having a rough time. He's talking to dead people. And so his brother encourages him, I'll take care of that for you. I'll help you. Cookie tells him that he is, because he feels very weak and very defeated. She encourages him how she thinks he's a very strong person because dealing with what he's had to deal with for his entire life. I mean, he's managed to accomplish quite a bit in his life. I mean, he does have a great education, and he's been a big part of running Empire since he got out of school. So anyway, so she kind of lifts him up. They all kind of undergirding her. Also, Andre. What else? There's something else significant about Andre. Okay. Yeah, so she's encouraged him to go. She should go back to the church. Andre was the spiritual person. He loved the church, but apparently he's having a crisis of faith because his wife was so cruelly taken from him. Didn't seem fair. It's kind of what happens when something happens and you feel like, well, God is real. God is there, and He has power. Why didn't He stop this kind of thing? So he's going through that. But there's a scene later on where the three brothers are together, and he's actually Andre is encouraging them and telling them what to do next, and so he's coming to himself already. This is good. It's a touching scene. Okay. Okay. One other thing one criticism I want to You will very rarely hear me say anything about women's clothing and stuff. I'm not a fashionista or fashion diva or nothing like that. But I have to say something about Miss Cookie and her attire. I don't know if they got a new stylist for her or what. These outfits are kind of a little strange. She had those shoes on last week where he had like house shoe tops with the fur. Wait a minute, move the camera. Had the fur on like the house shoes with the heel on them and stuff. Very, I thought tacky. And that weird ass coat she had on in the hospital with the dots on the fur. That was hideous. This week, although I like the white outfit she's wearing this see-through kind of white mesh top. It's beautiful. She looks good in it. But she has on these bracelets. Now, something I do remember from when I was into clothing years and years and years ago. You don't ever wear, I think, you should never wear the same amount of jewelry on both wrists, right? You can't have matching jewelry. You look like Wonder Woman. Well, she's got on these Wonder Woman sleeves. These big old I don't think they're brass, big brass jewelry, brass or silver. Anyway, they're too big and they're identical, so it looks like Wonder Woman type garb. So anyway, I don't like that. And then on the subject of bracelets, and this other outfit she has on, which is nice. She got a nice necklace on, but she got on this. You remember those shoes she had on last week? The furry shoes with the heel on them, high heel on furry shoes, slippers. This week she got on the same type of flyaway fur on this bracelet, which doesn't make any sense. She got this big hairy thing as a bracelet. So maybe I'm behind in fashion. Maybe that's all the rage in New York, but it wasn't all the rage with me. It looked ridiculous. Other than that, she looked good. Okay, but the outfits do seem a little different this season for her. Because she's having all those wild. Anyway, it seems like a different stylist. We'll see. All right, so it looks like she's now at some point at this big summit with the congressman and his boys. The kids do a performance, great performance. The little boy is very talented. I mean, he does a really good job with this song that they do. He's only about, I don't think he's like 15, 16-year-old kid. And then he's got the whole school behind him, or his whole class behind him, or the summit, and whatever the organization is. It's good. That's when I was talking about. And then Jamal comes up supposed to sing. He can't sing. He has the whole thing. Anyway, during this thing, as the man is introducing, first giving credit to Lucious, Jamal, and also the cookie, and he seems to be. She likes what he says all of a sudden. And so after he comes over, interrupts Cookie and Lucious in conversation, and is very flattering to Cookie, and Lucious picks up on something between them because there was a scene where she was being very mean to this man. She didn't like him. She had kind of went off on him about his privilege, and Jamal said, "What? Only person I ever seen her talk to like that is you." Said that to Lucious, and Lucious peeped that. Oh, really? And so then when he comes over, and she seems to be warming up to him, she's trying to being flirtatious with him. And so then when she walks away, he once again wants to thank Lucious for having him there at the Leviticus and all the things he's done for the program. He puts his hand out to Lucious, and Lucious won't take his hands, so he stubs him. He said because he had before he had called him Mr. Lion, and he said no, he called me Lucious. And so now after he peeped this energy between them, he said no, you had it right the first time. My name is Mr. Lion, and he wouldn't shake his hand, walked away from him. So obviously that's the storyline building there. Okay, who is next? Jamal. Okay, Jamal's on the pain meds. Okay, I think I already covered Jamal. Really, he has PTSD from being shot. He's still not mad. He didn't blame Frida Gatz at all. he feels like she's a victim as well. Uh, at some point, oh, that's how they met. They were doing a radio show together, Jamal and this congressman. That's how they met, by doing this radio show. The man was talking about violence, stopping violence, and referring to Jamal as a victim. And Jamal said, "I'm not a victim. Frida is the victim." He was talking about the conditions in which she was raised, poverty, violence. Although she's definitely a street person, but her daddy he was the big man in town, so they had drug money, which would be still in the streets. Anyway, so that's how they met. I think there was a missed opportunity when the three of them, when Jamal and Hakeem and Andre were together, and Andre was encouraging his brothers at that point. And Jamal was talking about this PTSD he was having. There was a missed opportunity, I think, with the writers there, because Hakeem last season had went through the same thing. He went through almost the exact same thing, but he wasn't killed. I mean, he wasn't shot at, but he was kidnapped. And after he got kidnapped by these hoodlums, after it happened, he was having real problems performing, and so they didn't bring that up. I think that would have been a great opportunity for them to bring that up, and for him to encourage him in that way that he does. He did get through it. He did get over it, but it's a temporary condition, and so anyway, he's having those problems. Okay, Andre breaks down crying, computers, meds. Should I skip ahead now and say how the last one ends? Yeah, I'll say the last thing to the last thing. Hakeem likes Nessa, Shine's sister. Okay, those two are flirting with each other. They're singing together, performing together. And at first he was very out with flirting with her, but now after this dude, he just saw Shine knock this dude out for looking at her. It was written in his face that it's something that he needs to be very, very aware of. So if he begins an affair with her, he's getting into dangerous territory, because that dude would probably kill him. Extremely jealous brother. So they kind of left it just like that. All right. At some point, remember there was a teddy bear. Someone delivered a teddy bear to Anika when she was in the hospital, and the nurse said, "Oh, what a lovely teddy bear someone left for her." So Anika left. She was going to her apartment. Lucious had her accosted by some of his henchmen, and they took Anika to the house. Packed her stuff. I guess they went back to pack up all her stuff. She never went back to her apartment. All right. They gave her this teddy bear. Well, apparently the FBI, one of the FBI people, Tariq probably, has given her this teddy bear. Well, the teddy bear, she has this baby monitor thing. All the teddy bears are on the wall. She has like this baby monitor deal. And when she walks past the wall of stuffed animals, the baby monitors have started having static. And so she takes it like it's a little scanner, and puts it in front of all the bears, whatever. And when she puts it on this teddy bear, the one she got from the hospital, from the anonymous person, it's all this static, it's buzzing sound. So Lucius is there in the same room, asleep. He comes out of it. He sees what she's doing. So he goes over there to her. First he hugs her like, "This is my wife, my woman," or whatever, because he's aware at this point that they're probably looking at him. So he does the lovey-dovey thing, because they're not lovey-dovey at all. But they're putting on this performance, supposedly. Anyway, and so he makes a little speech thing at the end of which he takes the doll and he pulls the eyeball out of the not doll, it's a bear. Pulls the eyeball out of the bear, and there are the wires. So and Mr. Tariq is out in the van somewhere watching everything. So now he knows he's been busted. Okay, John Maxwell. Now, what I was just saying a minute ago. All right, Andre. Wait, we all know how Empire likes to incorporate current events into the script. So whatever's going on in our world, they like to reflect that somehow in the scripts, which is good. It's good. So Andre has decided he wants to get all his stuff out of the apartment that he shared with his wife. So he goes to pack up his apartment. Or was that house? Remember they bought that big beautiful house? Lucious bought them this big beautiful house. Whatever, whatever residence that he shared with his wife Rhonda, he went to pack his stuff up. So he's packing these boxes up, put them in a car. Two white cops approach him and ask him what was he doing? Why was he there? Kind of thing. He said, "I'm moving. I used to live here, so I'm moving." Well, they're kind of treating him kind of like racist. I mean, they profiled him obviously because he's a black man carrying things out of a residence in that neighborhood, which is a very good neighborhood. They end up body slamming Andre. Obviously Andre, he's not wrapped all that tight, so he's kind of he's having a breakdown as they're attacking him, which is making it worse. They take that as being an aggressive move or whatever. Anyway, they body slammed their brother. That is the end of the episode. Okay, so let me see that I got everybody in here. Okay, Sean, Nico, Tariq, Teddy Bear, Hakeem, likes Nessa, discovers pretty okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's what it was. So anyway, love the episode. I love the series. I like Empire. I just like the series. Now I know that people will become less as excited about it as the program progresses, and I think the main reason because it's not new to us anymore. I mean, when we first went in, all the clothing was exciting, all the Empire, the building was exciting, all the different characters were exciting because we didn't know them; they were all totally new. So now it's just first there's a run, then there's a walk because all those things are already established. We can't be impressed by his house anymore because we've already seen the house or in any of the characters, the music industry, things like that. So I understand that. I understand that, but I still love this series, and I look forward to talking about it again next week. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I don't know how this thing works. I mean, we're recapping it. So is this for people who have already seen the episode and just get other people's opinion about it, or because I don't think I don't want to see this kind of thing if I hadn't seen the episode. I don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg. But anyway, I like doing it. I'll see you later. Actually, I'll see you in a couple hours. I'm going to do this a Queen Sugar as well later.